Just saw the DraftKings odds that it's Ohio State and Texas. They are the favorites to win the national championship as we segue into Rick Neuheisel, college football analyst for CBS, former college football coach. And Rick, great to see you again. You got Texas and Ohio State playing each other in week one. Normally, you have those cupcakes that you ease into the season. So how do you get your team ready to go right away for Ohio State and Texas?
Well, I don't think you have to even try. I think everybody understands the magnitude of the contest and the stage that will be the city of Columbus and the shoe. This is going to be a monster game. What's fascinating about this game is that you've got two quarterbacks with relatively little experience. And I think the two coaches, Sark and Ryan, will basically play a very cat and mouse game. I think this is a low scoring game. Try to make sure that your quarterback's comfortable. Don't throw them to the wolves too early. And I think it's going to be a wonderful setting.
Who's winning the Big Ten this year?
I think Penn State. If not now, when, right? They've got so many things coming back. The two running backs are fantastic. They've got the most experienced quarterback in the league. They've got James Franklin has proven he can recruit. They're wonderful defenders. And they've got a schedule to beat the band, right? They've got three. They're preseason. It's basically preseason football for the first three games. I think it's Nevada, FIU, and Villanova to start the season. Then a bye. Then you get the whiteout game versus Oregon. So everything sets up for Penn State this year.
What about the SEC?
I'm going to go with LSU. I think Garrett Nussmeier is the real deal. We all remember both Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels. I think this guy is going to have a heck of a game in Death Valley, although with a small D, I guess, given that it's not Baton Rouge. I think he and Klubnik are going to put on a show, but I think Nussmeier is going to come out on top.
We have 12 teams now in a playoff, probably going to 14 or 16 at some point. But
Right.
then the Big Ten leaks a proposal for 24 to 28 teams. Why did they leak that?
To me, it was almost to get people to understand 16 is the right number. Sometimes if you have 12 and people are sitting there, maybe 12 is the right number, and then you throw 24, 28 out somewhere. If compromise is where we're going to be, compromise now goes to 16. As I like to say, the answer is money. Now, what was the question? I think we're going to 16. The fact that no team with a bye last year won shows the lack of value of that bye, and I think 16 will be a great number for college football.
Talking to Rick Neuheisel, CBS Sports college football analyst and former college football coach. We're going to get to a number where we're going to jeopardize the regular season. Have we gotten to a number where we're jeopardizing the regular season?
I understand the argument, but I just saw an analytic piece of data where K-State, in losing to Iowa State over there in Dublin, now their playoff chances shrink to 13%. So remember, if even at 16, the number is much smaller than any other sports league out there in terms of who gets to graduate to the playoffs. We have 137 teams in Division I football. So the facts of the matter are the regular season is still very, very exciting. These preseason games are testament to that. And then you get to that month of November with so many more teams are still in the hunt. It just gets overwhelming. And if we go to automatic qualifiers, which I think will be the answer, again, with the premise that the answer is money. What was the question? We get to automatic qualifiers, you can only imagine the influx of more playoff games, much like the NBA, where both the SEC and Big Ten will have play-in games.
SEC going to 9-game schedule.
Yeah,
means
that the coaches didn't get their way. I think Greg Sankey did his best to try to listen to them and see if it made sense. But when Oklahoma is selling seats at a post-game press conference and Tennessee's selling advertising that's going to appear on the field, you can see the athletic directors are in need of money. And rather than keep shaking down the boosters, they're going, let's go to that ninth conference game. Our television partners will pay more for it. It now creates an opportunity with the Big Ten to create some non-conference games that will be paid for handsomely. It's a money play, and it's the right move.
What did you think of the NCAA's punishment with Michigan?
Much ado about nothing. The guy who is most guilty is still coaching in the NFL. Now, had they done something to Jim Harbaugh and he had to sit a little bit in the NFL, that would have been something. But and remember, that's exactly what they did with Jim Tressel when he was got his hand in the cookie jar with that tattoo gate thing. They made him sit as he was working for the Colts at the time. This is a big fine, $20 million, maybe even north of that. But at day's end, it was worth it for those who said Michigan versus the world.
Would you have punished Harbaugh?
I would have, yeah. If the punishment could have gone to sit him down, because that flew in the face of what we're all about in terms of fair play. And listen, I know I've always had a bent against Harbaugh, so I'm real kind of careful about my personal bias about it. But at day's end, if we really want to curtail this stuff, that's the punishment should have followed the criminal.
Notre Dame doesn't have to join a conference now, ever, because all they have to do is go 10-2, and they're going to be in the playoffs because they're a brand.
And can get whether it's home games or can get the bye, right? The seeding thing changed. So Jack Swarbrick goes down as a hero. Not only did he fight for their independence, he also has got them in a chance where they can be part of the field on an annual basis. And they can schedule around it. That will be the interesting thing. Who will schedule Notre Dame, and can they freeze them out to force them into a conference? That remains to be seen.
But, they're playing USC, but that's going away. They're not playing Michigan. I mean, they're going to play some ACC, schedule teams, but
that's right.
10-2 seems pretty reasonable every year for Notre Dame.
I would agree. And they've got a nice recruiting machinery. This is a good thing for Notre Dame, but there will be some clamoring back and forth after a few years of this. This is in its infancy, but after a few years, if they don't schedule up, and it'll be interesting as to the Big Ten and the SEC, how much they'll schedule them. You can see both of those conferences involved with the Notre Dame right now.
I was watching a little bit of the Browns with Shedeur Sanders and, of course, Caleb Williams last year. It feels like quarterbacks coming in from college they have bad habits.
Right.
Hold on to the ball.
Right.
Sometimes they'll have their hips parallel to the line of scrimmage. Then they already take away one side of the field. They're only going to be locked in on the right side. They get the ball out too slow. They try to make plays. You play the position, coach the position. What is it that you're seeing with these younger quarterbacks?
Those two guys in particular have watched the Patrick Mahomes extension, right? When Mahomes breaks what was called in the huddle and now becomes a freelancer, he's been magnificent, and the oohs and ahs that follow those kind of plays have been a lot. Those two guys also were given green lights by their coaches, Lincoln Riley and Deion Sanders, both said, you guys are the quarterback. So they've been allowed to just play this kind of backyard football, Johnny football type of quarterback. At the NFL, because people get open the same way they do in college, but they don't stay open. You have to let the ball go. Yeah. You have to have anticipation, which means there has to be a metronome in your footwork, and they don't possess it. Now, I saw Caleb Williams in that 38. I think they beat the Bills, 38-0. That was as good as I've ever seen him in terms of throwing on time and with rhythm. If once he gets there, and Ben Johnson's working on that, he can be a great player. That will be the case with Shedeur as well. The question is, how many reps will Shedeur get now that he's in a 4-quarterback kind of menagerie there in Cleveland?
I thought Dylan Gabriel looked good because he makes quick decisions.
That's exactly who Dylan Gabriel is. He knows he has to get it out of his hand. He knows what the defense tells him. His feet are almost perfectly in place to throw with rhythm, and he throws accurately. He's a bright guy. He's a good leader. That's why he had more starts in college football than anybody previous.
Andrew Luck is the GM. Like, what role is that? And he's in the booth during the game, so
he's a junkie, Dan. I mean, I got a chance to talk to him. He loves this, being back in it. As a matter of fact, it was precipitated by him going to the president at Stanford and saying, "Hey, here's my 2 cents on what the program needs." And he says, "Well, then why don't you run it?" And basically, he's got the job. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep from becoming the head coach. Because he's got such a zest for it. He hired the guy, Frank Reich, who was the officiant in his wedding. And, so this is a partnership, and he's all over the practice field. The guy's having a blast, but they're going to have to average more than under 4 yards a pass attempt if they're going to be a player in the ACC.
Great to catch up with you. We'll talk to you soon.
Always a blast, my friend.
Thank you, bud.
See ya.
Rick Neuheisel. He brings up something interesting about Andrew Luck. Now, I'm not reporting this. I can only tell you that a college football source just sent me a note and said, don't be surprised if Andrew Luck is a head coach there at some point. And his point that he's making is that he's all in. Like like he might need to have the control of being a coach. But Frank Reich might be that sort of Band-Aid to Andrew Luck is learning. He's a general manager, but I think learning to be a head coach, or maybe he doesn't want to do it. I'm only going by. And now Rick Neuheisel just said, "Hey, don't be surprised." And I had somebody when they realized we were having Andrew Luck on. My source said, "Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a coach there at some point."